Back to Blender LIVENODING. In this episode, I will be sharing with you this geometry nodes that creates this kind of a balloony monster. So the whole thing is actually semi-procedural, so it's not fully procedural, but you can make it fully automatic if you want to. So it's basically like just kind of like 5, 3, or 2 different strokes. Everything is just like random curve. Before I explain what's going on up there, I will actually just make another duplicate. So we're gonna make another balloony monster. I'm gonna delete all the curves. So this guy is actually a curve. And of course the idea is just to start making strokes like this. And we are making like kind of like a shape, and then you keep building on it. With the curve, by the way, I have this Bezier surface is turned on, so it's actually accumulative on top of it. And we're gonna make smaller little monster. Maybe this one have longer arm or like a wing. I don't know. Yeah, maybe this one is like a floating monster. So we have another monster, and we can render this out. It's like a balloon. Make another duplicates. Delete everything. So I think this is kind of fun and relaxing. So it could be like your 3D therapy as well. I'm pretty sure in the future we're gonna be able to do this just using VR or something. Okay, so you might just notice I did something there with the resampling, and also I have this thing that's doing deletions randomly. Let's make this slightly more interesting. The leg, of course, you can longer legs. So basically it's doing mirror for you. So you are free. So basically just to make like your balloony character monster, it's gonna do the rest for you. So that's what being generated. So maybe this is the big monster, this is the little one, La Nina and Al Nino. This is the small bees. This is the monster. All right, so that's some creations. So the setup is very simple. Of course, this is just a curve with multiple strokes. It's also similar to grease pencil, right? I don't care about the stroke thickness in this case. I just simply use the basic strokes and then bring it into geometry nodes. And I have to turn it from, because I'm using mirror will turn this into a mesh actually. So we need to turn it back into curve over here, and then resample the curve as much as we like. Less curve, actually, sometimes you want this to be less numbers of curves. Sometimes you want this to have higher number of sampling. So I just give it in between 4 or 5. And then there's this curve to mesh, because at this point it's still like a basic strokes. Split edges, and with probability, this is additional thing. You can actually skip this if you don't want to. But yeah, this is just to add variety. And then I'm using mesh to curve, resample, and here we have curve radius. So resample also, this has a lot of, this will actually get rid of some of the curve, but you can see this also make the curve looks like a diamond. Anyhow, this curve parameter is being used also here. This is just to give a thickness along the curve if you want to. And then fill the caps, yes. And then here we have the thickness and also resolutions for our sweep. As for the material, it's just random for each of the strokes, just random value. So it looks like a balloon character. So this one also, it's being mirrored on the X and the Y axis. If you are happy with the certain look, you can actually do another mirror, I think. If you want to continue to sculpt the character, you can actually use remesh modifier. And at this point, it's just a matter of you reshaping it using sculpt. And you want to convert this into mesh beforehand. So at this point, if you want to get serious, continue with sculpting, turn on the X-axis mirror, and then you can start sculpting. Okay, so this one's definitely looking like a bug. And when sculpting like this, you might want to use like decimate. Oh, by the way, I'm using Blender 3.0 official. Okay, so yesterday or today was the release of Blender 3.0, so just I want to promote a little bit. So with this latest versions, the assets management is improved, and then of course we have like official geometry nodes, which is really powerful. I've been talking and basically for the whole year making video tutorials about geometry nodes, but only today Blender 3.0 is actually fully realized. And yeah, and the sculpt tool also being improved, and then also grease pencil. I didn't talk much about it. Let's see this one, inflate. We can inflate. Oh yeah, by the way, since this is like a balloony character anyway, and I haven't actually used inflate. So if we use cloth simulations, cloth filter, inflate, we can inflate balloon to this character. So this is more like a balloony method where I just inflate the character. You might want this, you might don't want this, but it's still kind of funny. We can try again with this guy. Right click, convert to mesh. Right click, convert to mesh. It's gonna delete everything. And then sculpt mode, cloth filter, balloony. Oops. Inflate. Okay, I forgot to remesh. Sculpt, inflate, sculpt, inflate. So yeah, we end up with this character. They're kind of like a mirror of each other. So yeah, it's totally up to you. How do you want to work with this, guys? I think it's kind of fun just to use your imagination. Like I said, this is a semi-procedural creations. You are only limited to your imaginations. So just simply have fun. Oops, this one, why? It doesn't copy the geometry. Link material. Okay, now it's working. With 3.0, actually, there's one thing that's not yet working. It's the Cycles GPU on Apple M1. But I think they're still working on it. Okay, so have fun. Play around with this geometry nodes, and then just try making your own creations. Of course, with an improved Node 3, maybe I will revisit this in the future we're gonna try make this more like a, you can turn it into like a tree creatures or something that's more procedural, like a mecha robot. That's also possible, maybe with less strokes like this. But yeah, just anything. You can actually work not just from the front view. You can try working from different view. Yeah, just be free with your creations. You can go to the side view and create something this way. Okay, that's a little bit crazy because there's an accumulative thing going on, but yeah, maybe not this crazy. But still, a lot of potential. Scaling it in X and Y directions, and it's become like a clump like this. And just continue. Yeah, of course, there's a limit on what you can create, but anyway, hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.